Welcome everyone to Saturdays with Tara. This is our Hangout on Air, which is our theme for the week each week on Saturdays. We welcome you to this discussion, this Hangout, and you'll find a link on your screen for our subscription page to get invites to our free guest member calls, which we offer about once a month or so. So if you'd like to come to our extended call with questions and answers where you can come live and ask anything you want or make a comment, look for that link on your screen. So Tara is going to be coming through Robin today, as usual on Saturdays. And so let's see what Tara has to say about serving others and what that really means. So over to you, Robin and Tara.
Welcome to our discussion on this important topic of serving others. In this one's past, in this one's world, he has heard many well-intentioned people publicly promoting the idea that you're here to serve the world, to serve humanity, or to serve your neighbour. Now, before he hooked up with us, and even before he heard anything about the law of attraction, he always considered that idea to be somewhat circular. Because if he is here to serve you and you are here to serve him, then the why am I here question simply shifts to the next level and becomes, why are you both here to serve each other? Then there are those who propose that you are here to serve God, that God has a purpose for your life, and your job is to find out what that is and fulfill it. For many years, once again back in this one's past, he made that belief choice and followed that path. But in the end, he could not escape the idea that there had to be a more logical explanation of the meaning of life, that there had to be a simpler answer to the endless questions about why God allowed the world to be this way or that way. And then he heard Esther Hicks channeling Abraham. And for the first time, the puzzle pieces started falling into place. So here we are today, and we say, you aren't here to serve anyone or anything. Let's be clear about something here before we begin. Without exception, this one and all of those within this community just love helping others to find their way into alignment with who they are. It's right up there on their list of the most fulfilling and joyful things to do. But just because they choose to do some of that, that doesn't make serving others their primary purpose in life. And it's not your primary purpose either. To keep it short and sweet, the facts of life are, number one, you're here to choose new thoughts and thereby create new worlds. And number two, feeling good means you're creating what you want, and vice versa. Then, of course, from many of you, we get all those questions like, but how can this be? And to give you a more complete answer, we have to start talking a little more about who you are at your essence and what this thing you call the law of attraction really is. The truth is that there are no answers that make any sense until you begin to understand that this seemingly solid planet Earth that you seem to be sharing isn't solid at all. And you're not sharing it with anyone. You're creating it and attracting others into it. And until you really understand that, you can't really understand the law of attraction. So let's revisit that here today. We'll start here. At your core, you're not a physical creature. You're a timeless consciousness, an extension of the collective consciousness of Source. The physicalness you think of as you and your world is literally a moment-by-moment figment of your imagination. It's the stage you have uniquely and individually made up, and on which you play out your game and have your experiences. The thoughts you have are real. The world is not. As you have experiences, you make new belief choices. You step into a new version of you, and the context that surrounds you immediately changes to mirror image that new you. That's how the law of attraction works. So the first thing to get is that it's all an inside job. It's like a movie playing in your mind. And here's the next thing. Just as in a movie, there may be many takes of a particular scene, so there are many versions of your world. When you choose to go east at the junction, you step into the east version of you and your matching world. But there's an equally valid west version of you in an equally valid west version of the world. In a movie, only one version makes it out of the editing room and into the product you see. And similarly, you've elected to play this game in only one theatre in the Cineplex. But there are other versions of you in different theatres with different movies. You, yes, you created this leading edge space-time virtual reality of yours for the fun of experiencing what you can do and create within it. Part of that fun is mixing it up with the versions of the other conscious entities you attract into it. As you choose new beliefs, you literally change you and you change them. Because in your movie, they are all a match to you. Even as in their movie, you, in different versions, are always a match to them. Your movie is your own personal creation. And there's no body and no thing in heaven or earth that can assert anything into it that isn't a match to those choices of yours. What you believe becomes. Let's also be clear about what your emotions are. They're not just some sort of feelings you have that are internal to you and mean not much. You're always creating. And in terms of what you're creating at any moment in time, your feelings are always an absolute indicator. If you're heading towards what you want, you feel good. If you're heading away from what you want, you feel bad. That's it. Think of your feelings as your emotional guidance system. They are your creative GPS. They tell you if you're heading in the right direction or if it's time for a U-turn. So what is it that you want? At this point, you might be thinking, I don't really know what I want, so how can my feelings be so precise? Well, of course, there are always things that you want. Your desires are a part of you. Without them, you wouldn't exist. Think of those absolutes we just spoke about. At your core, you're all freedom-seeking, joy-seeking, creative beings. So anything that heads you in those directions is going to feel good. Then there are all those things you've desired throughout your life and maybe forgotten or given up on. They're still there. They're still a part of you. And now we're going to get to the heart of this by making two statements we've made many times before. But we really want you to get this because there are no ifs, ands, or buts about these. Firstly, And are you beginning to see how this flows from what we've said before? Nothing is more important than feeling good. You chose to create and inhabit this world of yours for those very good and very particular reasons we described earlier. And there is nothing, and can be nothing, more important than doing what you came here to do. Nothing. Secondly, how you feel is a choice. It never is and never was defined by circumstances. It's how you choose to think about those circumstances that determines how you feel about them. For example, let's say something bad happens to you, like an accident. Because perhaps you've trained yourself to feel bad in those circumstances, your default automatic reaction will be negative, which means you're in that moment creating more of what you do not want. And there will be more of those accidents in your future. But if you intervene and interrupt that status quo reaction, you could choose to feel good and thereby be creating more of what you do want. You might say that that's impossible. And as is true for all of your belief choices, then impossible it will be. We say it's a choice. It has to be, because everything about you is a choice. So we encourage you into making less automatic default choices that maintain your status quo and more conscious choices that have you feeling good. And of course, now you know where feeling good inevitably takes you. The better it gets, the better it gets. With each choice, you step into a new version of you. The old version of you is carrying on in a parallel universe. It's in that other movie playing in that other theatre. But this new choice has transplanted you. Now you're in a new matching world, intersecting with new matching versions of everything and everybody. You and everybody else exist in infinite versions, but it is only the matching versions that meet. So there you have it. This is the basis of all existence. Once you get your mind around all of this, you begin to see that the world is not perhaps as you assumed it was. Are you also beginning to see that what you do in this world doesn't matter? How you think and how you feel is everything. Now, if doing helps you feel good, helps you to believe that something positive is going to result from your actions, then doing is wonderful. You are, after all, physically oriented, action-oriented beings. But it's not the doing that causes the result. It's the belief about it. There can be no action that truly feels good that could be described as bad. Nobody in alignment with who they are would ever choose to harm another. While in this one's world, yours may be similar, it seems that laws and justice and morality and religion and righteousness are the banners under which much unhappiness is created. No matter how important, no matter how moral or just, or ethical or compassionate or caring an action would seem to be, unless it feels good, it is not serving you or anyone else. Are you beginning to see the true nature of reality? Can you see that you can never be a victim of somebody else's decisions, even if they can never be a victim of yours? And as to serving others, can you see that in a multi-version universe, the whole concept of what those words mean is completely different? Serving others is something you could choose to do, But there's nothing inherently good or bad or righteous about doing that or doing anything. So with that perspective in mind, listen to what our friends have to say about it. From Abraham. To hold someone as your object of attention while you're connected to source energy is the greatest gift that anyone could give. When you're not happy, you don't have anything to give. And so what that literally means is be happy, because you cannot give anyone something that you do not feel. From Bentinho Massaro. By following your own passion, your own joy, your own excitement for life, you will somehow, you don't have to take care of the hows and the whens, you will somehow take care of the world in the most effective, harmless, positive way possible. If you're not happy, you're not helping. From Bashar. When you take responsibility, you are at choice. You are self-empowered. You know you have the ability to choose. You are free to choose. That's freedom. That's self-empowerment. That's also effortless alignment with the unconditional love of the infinite. And being yourself is how you perform the best service to everyone else. Because by being yourself, then you can share the gifts you have spontaneously and creatively. And thus everyone benefits by you just being you. Think about those words. If you're not happy, you're not helping. And everyone benefits by you just being you. And some words we've spoken many times. You cannot intersect with the happy, connected versions of others until you step into the happy, connected version of you. Can you also see that if there are people in your world that have questions you can answer, or needs that you can satisfy, or problems you can help them with, they are there because you choose to believe that they will be. They are part of your expectation matrix. The versions of those people you encounter are a match to you. And the more you focus on people who need you, the more needy people there will be. Of course, none of this is inherently good or bad. Those are human judgments. It's just the way you've created it. Is this the right game for you to play? It's your choice. Everything is. If it feels good, we say play on and have a joyful, creative time of it all. And if you choose to serve others, will you be successful in helping them? The question is, what are you expecting? If you are certain your actions will really help them, then they will. Which is to say, you will intersect with the version of them that actually benefits from your help. If you are doubtful or gloomy about their prospects, you will match up with versions of them that you are unable to help. In a very real sense, it's not up to them at all. In your world, it's all up to you and how you choose to think. We say, set yourself an intention from this moment forward to practice thinking in new ways, in more conscious and deliberate ways that will point you toward creating fun things in your life. So let's come back to those words we said earlier. This seemingly solid planet Earth that you seem to be sharing isn't solid at all, and you're not sharing it with anyone. It's a virtual reality you're creating, and into which you attract the particular versions of everything and everyone that are a match to you. Those other people appear in your world by your invitation, even as you appear in their worlds as a match to them. We'll finish here by saying, if all of this brings a small sense of unreality through this world you're in, then we have achieved some of what we set out to do. Not because we're trying to talk you out of that wonderful creation of yours, but because we want you to have perspective. We want you to see that the real juice in this comes from knowing the power that you have, from forgetting all notions of right and wrong, and by freeing yourself from the seeming inevitability of things. You're creating it all. Step forward with confidence. Live life as you would have it be, whatever that is. It is yours to choose.
This, excuse me, this hangout was our introduction to the theme for the week. We have calls on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. So if you'd like to join us for our extended audio with questions and answers, see some links on your screens to either get invitations to our once a month or so open calls, or you can become a member, and that link will be on your screen as well, probably as a pop-up. So we'd like to have you join us in any way you'd like to. And now we're going to have our extended call with Robin and Tara. So back to you, Robin and Tara.